What up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. Thanks for listening on iTunes, Omni Studio, Spotify. Rate this thing, and let people know how many stars you feel about it, and like and subscribe on YouTube. We're gonna talk about the FA Cup final, and Man City's road to the treble is clear. They got one more game next weekend, so we could talk about that. The Champions League final. We talk about Neil's view of Mount to Man United, since he's a Chelsea fan. We could talk about how Benzema decided to leave La Liga and go to play in Saudi Arabia, how that has a domino effect on the Premier League, specifically Spurs, Harry Kane, and LAFC has a CONCACAF Champions League match today at 6 p.m. We're going to talk about that, wish them luck, and, we'll get into it. But, my co-host, Neil Chakravarty, straight out of India, you know what I'm saying? Been doing this thing. How long? We did talk about it before, but how long were you gone?
I was gone 5 weeks.
Damn. Who vacations that long?
Yeah.
What'd you tell your boss? So you got no vacation days next year.
I just told her that, I haven't taken a vacation in 4 years almost. So
you just threw that in her face.
Yeah.
And she said, but what about the pandemic? You were off the whole year. She didn't say that.
She knew us hustling, us logging.
Hilarious. I watched let's get into the FA Cup. It's not really a pain. I can't pretend that there was a pain. I never expect us to win this game. And I'm not one of those United fans, right? Who are like, we can't let them win the treble. Because I feel like that's closed-minded thinking. We got one treble and we're just trying to protect this one treble. No. So what if they win the treble? Let's get another treble. Like, I don't want to be the team with one treble. I want to be the team with multiple trebles, that teams are trying to catch up with the amount of trebles we got. So yeah, we got it in 99 and they're not easy to get, but we got to play like open and feel open and positive and look. So yes, Man City, they get a treble. We got it first. And even when I compare teams and even the style of football that Man City plays now, if our players from the 99 team had Pep, I don't think this Man City team would be better than us. Because of the ability, how much they hustled, and how much they would learn and endure football. And if Pep hadn't seen our team, he wouldn't have been a better coach. He learns from all the generation of football that he's seen before him and played in. And so it's like when you look at a team now, or even the best player in the world, they needed the players that came before them to make them into what they are. So for people to be like, well, that team's better than that team, like just on paper, that Man United 99 team was a damn good team. Like we had dribblers, passers, some of the best midfielders in English history. Probably like Xavi and Iniesta always say their idol was Paul Scholes. You know what I mean? They never said it was De Bruyne. They never said it was Gundogan, even though Gundogan's dope and he proved it. And, this weekend with a brace. But let Man City win the treble. Like, I don't live in a city. Nobody's going to bug me. I don't care. But, we can't win all the time. No, you can at me, but it ain't going to affect me. Like, the N-word doesn't affect me. When somebody calls me the N-word, I don't let it affect me. So why would Man City winning a treble affect me? You know what I'm saying? Let them win it and we'll win it again. Then we got two. And they win it, or we win it 3 times. When Brazil had 3 World Cups, and then Germany got 3 World Cups, and then I think it was Italy got 3 World Cups. Brazil was like, oh man, I can't believe they got 3 World Cups. They went and won 2 more, bro. They went and won 2 more. That's what you're supposed to do. Go win some more. Our history is not complete. It is open, and we're going to add to it. As far as the game is concerned, amazing. We only lost 2-1. You know what I mean? Come on. Like, the way Man City beat Real Madrid, like, as if Real Madrid weren't the champions of the same competition that Man City has been trying to win. You know, like, we're just a rebuilding United. And to only lose 2-1 in a game that Man City sees just as important as the game they played against Real Madrid. This game might have been even more important because they definitely want the treble. The treble is on, so they had to win this. Like, you saw Pep crying. You think Pep cried because the game was easy? You think he cried? He cried because, you know, there was some dicey moments at the end of that game when we came out of our shell and we went for it. And I think we had just as many shots or more shots than them. I think they might have had more on target. And I know some of those shots were like rebounds and stuff, but they didn't play their best game. We didn't let them play their best game. And listen, they got a free goal. You know, goalkeeper kicked it long. Haaland, 9-10, jumped, got to it. It bounced. Lindelof actually beat De Bruyne to the ball, headed it. It bounced off De Bruyne anyway, landed in the path of Gundogan. At the last ding of 12 seconds in the back of the net. There's no way. And then let's go. So then we get a free penalty. They get a free goal. We get a free penalty. I say it's a weak penalty. I ain't trying to like fight for that penalty, stand by it, but I'll take it. And Bruno puts the ball in the back of the net. Let's go to the other point in the match. The second Gundogan goal. First of all, the guy shouldn't have been open at the top of the box. Like, come on, guys. So you can't blame him being open on David De Gea. Now, everybody is saying David De Gea dives slow, but I get why he dives slow. You ever seen those goalkeeper shooting drills when they put that thing on the floor in front of the keeper?
Yeah. To account for deflections and stuff.
Account for deflections. The bad bounces, right?
Yeah.
So did you do a bunch of those drills? You have to wait for the last deflection. You know what I mean? So of course the shot Gundogan hit was not hard, but it was coming through a crowd of people. And I think De Gea was waiting for the last deflection to make a move. And you don't know where the ball is going. It took one bounce, and then it took another bounce. And the last bounce was being blocked by Varane. And then it just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, his
and then he dived and he didn't get to it. And it's like, I'm not gonna like, and listen, man, a lot of people's like, we should get rid of De Gea, but he's not good with his feet. But he's working on it. You know how many, Man U fans are hilarious. Everybody that wants to get rid of De Gea, you're the same fans that wanted to sell Marcus Rashford. You're the same fans that didn't believe the lot could be our right back at the start of the season. You're the same fans that didn't believe that Wan-Bissaka could fit into Ten Hag's plans and we should get rid of him. Like, let these people develop under this coach. Yes, we probably do need a goalkeeper in the future, but I guarantee you that next year, David De Gea is going to be even better with his feet. It might not be good enough as Edison or all the goalkeepers that are good with their feet, but he's going to get better. You have to give the guys, you didn't give other people a chance to get better, and they got better, and now you're like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, it's a learning curve. Like, the Arsenal, I remember a year and a half of Arsenal fans going, what are we doing? We can't play out the back. What are we doing? Now they came second. Nobody wants the growing pains. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to see development. They just want, but I'm hanging in there, man. Like, hey man, De Gea might step up his game next year. You see, he wasn't good this game. I can't front. He wasn't good this game with the ball, but Give him time, man. It's not the type of football he was brought up playing, but he's trying. There's games when he is good with his feet. You can't deny that. But I don't call that a goalkeeping error at all.
Yeah, I mean, he was also like, as you said, like he's waiting probably, but he's also unsighted, right? Like it wasn't a clear view of the ball that he had. So you're bound to try and stay on your feet for as long as possible until you actually know which way to dive.
Yeah.
And I feel like whatever decisions got to be made with the goalkeeper, to come down to Ten Hag. I think it's very difficult for fans to sit here and try and take a view on some position that's so technical, goalkeeping. Like a lot of us have played football growing up, right? But how many, like Lee probably would have been good to have here because he's among one of those rare people who has actually been a keeper. But yeah, I think it'll come down to what Ten Hag wants, like what percentage. Yes, there maybe even if he gets good at it, he can never be an Edison or an Allison. Well, maybe you don't need to be that, right? Maybe his shot stopping kind of is account. It's fine to have a slightly weaker goalkeeper on the ball if the shot stopping is that good. But again, that's a call that Ten Hag needs to make. Like, what level of competence on the ball is he okay with, and what is he willing to sacrifice to make that happen? If Ten Hag, for example, with his scouting network and the experience he has in the game, if he knows of a player somewhere in Europe who's might be easier to get and who's actually the complete package, then he might just go for him, right? But I mean, did he not also get the Golden Glove?
Yes, but he also got the award for the most errors committed in the goalkeepers.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Errors in the season. So he's that guy. He's a walking juxtaposition. He's an oxymoron, bro.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so that's why the fans.
So he made very few mistakes, but every mistake he made was a big one.
Yeah.
Like he didn't make any normal. He didn't let in any normal goals.
Right. And he definitely makes a game-saving saves. Like you're like, if that went in, we drop 2 points. If that goes in, we lose this game. Like, and he did that multiple times. But the fans, again, we look at what other teams got, and we just like, we're adulterers, bro. Like, we'll be checking out your wife's leg, no problem, and pushing up on her as soon as you leave the room. Hey, I'll be like, hey, why can't you be more like, like Man City's girl? You know what I mean? Like we're terrible people, But we forget fast. Also, like Chelsea's kind of been like a laughing stock of the season, and so has Spurs. But Man United, I want to assure you, we're not far behind you. There's for some reason we're not being laughed at as much as you guys are, but we definitely are. Because when I look at like this sale and how long it's going on, and how many bids you hear every week going in, and
I think that's just the Glazers being Glazers, right?
It's a laughing stock shit.
Yeah.
Like the Saudi Arabia is sending its final 5th bid. Now Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to buy the team and give it back to the Glazers, and then they're going to give it back to him, and then he's going to take it and then give it back to them. And it's craziness, bro.
I think the truth be told, it makes absolutely no sense for any owner in the Premier League to sell their club right now, because the money is so big. Like, it's a blue chip stock, and it's gonna remain that for a long while. So I mean, Abramovich wouldn't have sold if he wasn't absolutely forced to sell, right? So any owner that is selling right now, is gonna want to still keep a chunk of the club to themselves, and the offer really needs to be that much good. Basically, they're trying to get an offer that will account for where this club is even going to go in the future, so that
I know that's what
they don't
I know
lose out
that's
on that.
I know that's what they're trying to do, but they're in debt. They
Yeah.
they've lost the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they have loans, and they have to build a stadium. That's going to cost them money. So it's like, do you want to make some profit and get out of? You're also profiting if you sell the club by not having to build a stadium. You know, so it's like, and then maybe you could get them to take care of these loans, and then you don't have to pay the loan back. That means you never paid any money to buy the club. You know what I mean? So all the money you earned over the past 19 years, I don't know how money works. I'm just saying, all the money you earned over that past 19 years and whatever you get from the sale, you're up. You're up. But the longer this takes, it affects our transfer window, and it'll be crazy. Like, this is laughing stock shit, but nobody is like looking at it like that. But this is clown school, bro. And we're lucky that people are focused on you guys and Pochettino. Like, you know, so we're trying to make some moves now based on, like, I think we have two budgets. We have the budget if we do sell before the window, and we have the budget if we don't sell until deep into the window. And the budget of we don't sell before the window is low. So I think they're just trying to operate on that budget. That's why we're going after Mason Mount right now. They're just trying to do these deals fast based on like all the channels that I listen to, like United Stand and everything, and just United Stand and Flex and all those things. But just one thing, United fans, if you were upset about the loss yesterday, you shouldn't have been. You knew we weren't going to win. There is always a chance because it's football, but I'm not going to let yesterday's loss to possibly treble winners. And then here's another thing. I don't want to lose the FA Cup final to non-treble winners. Like, I want to lose to the best, not to the second best. So Man City better win the goddamn Champions League. So I said, yeah, we lost the FA Cup, but to the FA Cup champions, not to the guys that got beat by Inter. Fuck that. So we was just talking a little bit about Chelsea. Where do you want to start first? Like Mason Mount or Pochettino? Your feelings? Did you write your love letter yet? Did you email it to Mason?
To whom? To Mason Mount?
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason he isn't replying on Instagram. I've been trying to hit him up.
To get him to stay.
I have this
goodbye.
emoji. I hope he's not thinking this. I'm just saying, please stay. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it'd be a foolish move to let him go. But you know, these owners have made one foolish move after the other, so it wouldn't really be out of character for them. I mean, it's very similar to what my stance was when Rudiger and Christensen were running out their contract. Like, I always blame the club in these kind of scenarios because I don't believe any player is unreasonable in their wage demands and stuff like that. And this is a academy player who's guy who's saved you tons of money in a transfer fee. He's a first teamer. He's twice Chelsea Player of the Year, and the season before that, when he didn't win, he came second in the list. So he's done well for you. He's won stuff for you, and he plays in a position that you're always going to need. You're always going to need that kind of a box-to-box 8 midfielder, and the fact that you're not able to agree on a deal for somebody like this, because if you're like trying to lowball him, which is what it seems like, right? Chelsea's trying to kind of lowball him into a salary that's not what somebody like Reece James got for example. They're both in a very similar kind of situation, right? And
What did
You're
Reece
gonna
James get?
Reece James
And
got, I think, 225K per week,
uh,
225
what
or
does
250. Like it's conflicting. Like some people are saying 225, some are saying 250. So whatever, he got in that ballpark. And I think reports are that he's being offered below 200K amount. And even that has been only a verbal offer. The actual written offer he got, which was in I think before the World Cup, was even lesser. So yeah, I don't think it's been handled right. And I've never actually believed that we should be a club that lets go of our best players. Like somebody like Kovacic, for example, he's 30, 31, and
Right.
he's entering the last year of his contract. So if he goes, even though that's not ideal to do, but I still understand it because, you probably don't have many good years of Kovacic left. But Mount is 23, or so he's probably 24, 25. So you're letting go of somebody who still has a lot to give. And yeah, I just don't agree with that on principle. The best times that Chelsea had under Abramovich, we didn't let, I think it was a period of 12 years that we didn't let a single player go who was performing for the team, who had a lot more to give. The only player we actually let go in that period was Robin, and that had a lot to do with injury issues. But
he wasn't injured at Bayern.
yeah.
Jeez.
But he was like always injured, but he always good too. But okay, fine, one guy 10, 12 years.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I think that's a good record. But ever since, it's been like Costa, Courtois, Hazard, and then Rudiger, Christensen. If this happens, Mount, yeah, it's just one bad decision, and it's across ownerships, right? Like the previous ownership also had their problems with renegotiating, and like part of the blame for this also should go to the previous ownership, because Mason Mount is going into his last year now. This should have been wrapped up a year before, even before the sanctions became an
they were busy
issue.
just buying everybody, so they couldn't wrap up his contract.
No. I'm talking about Abramovich before he got sanctioned.
That was 2 years ago.
Year and a half ago, right? Like last year and a half, yeah. Year and a half. Abramovich, there was no war in the Ukraine.
I mean, they could probably feel it coming. You have to have a troop build up. I know.
No, but I mean, they didn't even.
Feels like a little.
They didn't even get the Rudiger Christensen thing. So yeah, I'm sure they
didn't probably going back and forth, haggling with that.
Yeah. So, but again, that just shows that people drop the ball, and they drop the ball on multiple different players, and the new ownership has had their priorities all wrong. I don't believe that this place ever needed a total tear down and start from scratch. Mason Mount is one of those players who, who's always
what's Mount's best position?
I think his best position is a box-to-box midfielder.
On the left side?
Yeah, mostly on the left, but he can play as a number 10.
So where did he play mostly for you? With like the 2 seasons where he won Player of the Year or scored?
So
had a double-double.
He played as a number 10, as one of the 2 number 10s, because that's what Tuchel used to play, 2 number 10s, and then play a striker ahead. So we're playing a 3 at the back, so playing 3-4-2-1. So he played as 2. So he can play as a number 10 too.
Right.
So I'm a little. I would have been really terrified if he was joining Liverpool, because a lot of the rumors initially said that he was going to join Liverpool. I think he's ideal as because Klopp plays box-to-box midfielders. So I think he would have been ideal there. I don't really know if he's a Ten Hag style of midfielder, partly because I don't know it's Ten Hag still pretty new, right, in the league.
Well, this is what he's going to do. I feel like if he's with us, First of all, I'm insulted that you think he'd be better at Liverpool. So that's number one. That's
Because I think
that's
he's like
no.
it fits in like a glove.
He's Henderson. He's Henderson there.
He's Henderson with goals. Like Henderson, Wijnaldum didn't have a goal threat, right? Mason Mount can do what all these guys do, plus have a goal threat.
Yeah, he's Henderson with goals there. But for us, like Ericsson was a 10, basically. Who we said, hey, sit next to Casemiro or whoever and help us get this ball out the back. And then we put our fullbacks on the forward line. We put and then we put our midfielders also like play a straight line across the defensive line of the opposing team. So he can get there, and then everybody in the back is pushed up, and then so you have room to like help defend and stop them from coming out. So he could fit in, but I feel like he's Ericsson's replacement, and also sometimes, hey, we're gonna need you to play next to somebody who's replacing Casemiro or replace Casemiro. Or sometimes if Bruno gets an injury, which he doesn't get injured, BR10. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think your ideal midfield will be Bruno, Mount, Casemiro, unless you're replacing Casemiro with somebody. But as things stand right now, yeah. And then Ericsson would make a great sub. Yeah. Right now, we've been starting this guy. He's like 31. He's going to be 32. On the second life.
Yeah, second life. Like he's older in his second life than I am in my first. You know what I mean? He's like, he couldn't keep up yesterday. Yeah. You know? He couldn't keep up with those City players yesterday. He was really slow yesterday. And I love him. And he's done a lot for us this season. Yeah, he's a complete surprise. But yeah, I think that's where he would. Where are you with Pochettino? How you like have you accepted him?
Yeah, I've made my peace with it. Like I have made my peace with the fact that top 4 is aspirational for us right now. So,
aspirational when? This year or last year?
Next season. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Forget about last year. I don't even remember that happened.
No, but you shouldn't forget about last year because I'm worried about you this year. I believe in Pochettino. This is a perfect scenario for him. You know what I mean? So,
but worried what? Like what? You worried we're gonna win the league?
No, not cool. Let's not get crazy.
Yeah. So
but for top,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like our best case scenario is a top 4. So
yeah, that's completely doable, and it's going to be so many teams of our level and maybe a little bit better than us. Like it's going to be tough for us to make top 4 next season, and it's like to have a coach that made top 4 this season and not the next. That's going to be tough for fans to swallow. And they're not going to accept that Chelsea got their shit together, Liverpool got their shit together, Newcastle bought more people, Arsenal bought more people, you know what I mean? And that you were never going to move Man City. So it's only really 3 spots in the first place. And then Spurs is out of it. Like we were talking in the intro about Benzema. I just watched him score his last goal for Real Madrid, and it's official. He's going to Saudi Arabia. He's going to get the money that he couldn't get when he blackmailed his national teammate there, and he's going to get it playing football. So he's gone. And so they need a forward. And this is a perfect place for Harry Kane to go. Like just one La Liga title. Like people say, if Harry Kane stays at Spurs, like one title at Spurs is worth like 5 titles, like 5 titles for like Man City or United for if he went there or for other players there. But like the way and the esteem that Real Madrid is held at, like a La Liga title there and a few cups or trophies and another shot at the Champions League, and just the way Benzema plays and he plays is so similar. Like this is really good for him. Like
I think it depends whether
Levy almost has to pull the trigger because he's going to lose him on a free next season. So the most he can hold him for is for January.
But does he want that Premier League record?
You have to forget it now. Like, you know how you start out life and your career, you want one thing. 10 years later, like there's a fork in the road, and one is the one that you always wanted, and the other one is like this other option, and it's still a great option. You didn't expect it. Like, did Harry Kane expect Real Madrid when he was trying to chase down this scoring title? But now it's here, bro. Like, you can go on left or right because winning some La Liga, and then you have a guy that they've been comparing you to, and you guys have been behind Messi and Ronaldo, and now you get to go in the league in a rival team against Lewandowski and shoot it out against him. That'll just add to anything that you win over there for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And you're just going to be seen on this level. Look, bro, you cannot be the captain of England when everybody on England has won some shit and you ain't got nothing, bro. Harry Maguire now has a Carling Cup. You can't even tell Harry Maguire, who can't start for us, what to do. You can't tell, in 2 years, Grealish got FA Cup, 2 Premier League titles, and he might be a treble winner. You got to captain Grealish, bro. You got to captain Kyle Walker. You got to captain John Stones. You're going to captain, but as soon as you go to Real Madrid and you haven't won anything yet, that's our captain. To be the captain of England, to have the respect of your teammates, you got to go.
I think it's going to be a good exercise to see, like, what does he value. Like, I've always called him I mean, don't get me wrong, Harry Kane's one of the best players the Premier League has seen in the last decade. But right now, the way his career stands, he's more of a Wikipedia player. You know,
hilarious.
He looks great on. You can go look at the number of. You can go look at the number of goals he scored, the number of assists made, but that's about it. Like, he hasn't had one fulfilling moment in his entire career. Like one fulfilling moment in his entire career. Like one dressing room celebration with the champagne. The champagne's never flown in his career. Like, he's never been dunked on. He's never had that unbridled happiness that Kurt Zuma has had, for example, multiple times.
Chipamonte.
You know? Yeah, exactly. So, and like, you know, and I've heard it like from a lot of professional sportsmen, like, you know, records and stuff is fine, but you play sport at that elite level for those moments. You know, nothing can come close to that feeling of being with your teammates, soaked in all sorts of beverages, down to your knickers, in the locker room after a win. So
I agree with you. You don't want to end your career sober.
Yeah.
You want there to be footage of you being showered in champagne, and showering your teammates in champagne, and sliding across a wet locker room floor.
Yeah. Even though you just know that when that
risky
moment,
business style.
Yeah. Even though you just know when that moment comes, Harry Kane's going to completely ruin it, because he's not camera savvy at all. You remember how he tried to do that Braveheart speech and totally, you know, just kept saying fuck a whole bunch of times with no conviction.
You have an excuse to sound drunk, because you'll actually be drunk because you were in the vicinity of liquor. But you need this Kane out. And then I heard a caller on Talk Sports, and he was going in on like everybody, like always, like when Kane first got to Spurs, they were like, all right, he's a 1-season wonder. Then he became a 2-season wonder. Then he became legitimized. And then as soon as he became legitimized, all the media is like, where's Kane going to go? He has to leave Spurs. Now, I don't think it's been that hard. Every team or fans of teams always thinks there's an agenda against their team. That's just a part of fandom. But that fan did admit that if Kane goes somewhere, the fans won't be upset with him because he did his thing. Like Benzema wrote a letter, I got to read it. I should have read it before the podcast today, and that saying like why he's going to leave and it's time for him to leave, and he earned the right to leave because he doesn't want the fans of Real Madrid to be upset with him. And I looked at this too, right? Like he was walking off the field, Benzema, and we're jumping around here, but it's good that I'm remembering what I actually wanted to talk about. So he walks off the field, and they put his goal scoring record up. And this guy, so Cristiano Ronaldo for Real Madrid has 450 goals, right? Karim Benzema has 354. He's got 96 less goals. So let's just say 100 less goals than Cristiano Ronaldo. For all those years, playing second fiddle. Is it just me, or if he was the main guy, do you believe he could have had 450 goals?
Yeah. He could have definitely done what Ronaldo did if he was the main guy at Real Madrid.
He spent most of his career there acquiescing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
he was like the Prince Charles, just waiting for the Queen to pop dead.
Yeah. It happened for them both around the same time, ironically. And and then he won the Ballon d'Or. And like you have to take a backseat to Ronaldo just because of his temperament. And you could see it, the way they play, the way they set up, like who the main man is. Even if you have the ability to be a main man, it's, Ronaldo's the main man. So just in a few seasons after Ronaldo left, he almost caught up with Ronaldo. Like he's had a better career scoring. He's had a better career than Raul. We used to think Raul was scoring all the time. Karim Benzema has 31 more goals than Raul, who was the leading scorer. So that's crazy that Benzema has. Raul got 323. Benzema got 354. And you would never kind of really think of Benzema on the level of Raul. That's how good this guy was, or is.
Yeah. And he had a few seasons, even when Ronaldo was around, where he scored a whole bunch of goals. It's just that the whole Messi versus Ronaldo thing drove the La Liga narrative so much that there was no, like, narrative-wise, there was no space for somebody else, unless you're like, what Bale did with his Champions League goals, the final goals, those crazy goals. So you had to almost have an insane moment like that to push yourself into that narrative. And I'm sure like the true, fans, like La Liga fans, the Madrid fans, they know what Benzema has given for the sport.
It's pretty bananas, like to have an error at Real Madrid, one of the top clubs, and it not even being really like put on the front page. Like 300. He's the second leading scorer in Real Madrid history. And he played at the same time as their first leading scorer. The same time. And got most of those goals then. So talk about living in the shadows. Like that thing shocked me. That's goals, bro. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So Harry Kane, a slot is open, slide in there. Also, reluctantly want to congratulate Barcelona's women for winning Champions League. They went down 2-0 and they came back and won it 3-2. It's just because it's Barcelona, I'm saying reluctantly.
No, that Barcelona team is crazy good, and the fact that they actually did a comeback, because they are. Have you seen their La Liga record? It's something crazy, like 100 goals scored, 2 goals conceded, something stupid like that.
That means they're just playing. They probably bought the best players, and they're playing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of teams.
They're really good, because it's not just because of the competition. Because Chelsea is 4 times champion, and this season was pretty close. We lost to them pretty much by 1 goal.
All right.
I think it was 2-1 on aggregate. Yeah, I think it was 2-1 on aggregate or 3-2. No, I think it was 2-1 on aggregate. But a couple of seasons back we met and it was a Champions League final and they were, I think 3-0, 4-0 up within the first half.
Damn.
So they're a crazy good team.
Right.
Probably the best. It's very similar to the Barcelona team of the mid, the Pep Barcelona team.
Well, I'm not gonna go that far, but they're good, I guess. And they won last year, and this is the second year.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about LAFC. They play at 6 p.m. LA time. So in half an hour approximately, they play Lyon. And in the second leg of the, I guess this is the final, right? So in the CONCACAF Champions League, I guess they play 2 games and not 1 game. I'm trying to make sure this information is accurate.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
2
I think
legs.
I'm right.
Yeah.
2 legs. It's like, come on, just have this. I know football is about money, but it's a final. You can't have a 2-game fine. Just guys, just stop it. You just have 1 game for the final. Stop being greedy. I'm trying to see where Lyon is from.
Club Lyon from Mexico.
Mexican, yeah.
Yeah.
So I figured.
Based in Lyon, Guanajuato. I think I got that right.
You got it more right than me.
That's what San Diego will do to you.
It's hilarious. Hilarious. So yeah, that's on at 6. And then we were talking about I got tickets to go see United versus Wrexham.
That's amazing, yeah.
So that's coming up in July. And I was trying to buy tickets on my phone yesterday for United versus Dortmund in Vegas.
Yeah.
And the Ticketmaster app kept on telling me I was a bot and it wouldn't let me get the ticket. And I was like, what type of sham are you guys pulling that you're not letting me buy tickets? So I have to try. I got to try on my iPad or something to get it. But also, I want to ask you how your Sunday was because I want to brag to you.
Oh, my Sunday?
My Sunday was.
It started off late because I was hungover. And a couple of bottles of Gatorade later, I was good to go. I had some sushi, had a nice walk, and I got.
Does the Gatorade really work?
Oh, Gatorade is the only thing that works with me. I've tried so many different things. Like from a very young age, a hangover cure, Gatorade is the only thing that's worked for me.
All right. Keep that in mind.
And it's got to be either orange or lemon Gatorade, like the dark blue shit, and that white shit doesn't work with me either.
Right. Hilarious.
I'm sure there's a lot of it is also placebo effect. But yeah, it works.
All right. It's good to know. So
how's your Sunday?
More impressive than yours. You know where I was? About 8:30 a.m. this morning, I was at Sunset Park in Newport Beach.
Oh boy!
Playing soccer.
Playing DM?
Right. I actually was playing right back, but Man City style.
Oh, so inverted?
Inverted. What's his name style?
John Stones.
Stone style, and also with a combination of Trent Alexander-Arnold style.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, and it was the first time I ever played out there. My homeboy Iman, he's been to a few shows, we've been to a few games. First of all, he invited me he gave me 2 invites this weekend. One was to go to a bar in Santa Monica to watch the FA Cup final, which I turned down. He said it's going to be 20 United fans. I was like, why would I go to a bar and leave with my head down with hundreds of United fans? But I could just, everybody's going to be riled up and think there's safety in numbers and feel encouraged that they're going to win. And then you're going to get caught up in the high.
And then 12 seconds later.
12 seconds later, dumped out for fine. Yeah, it's funny. So, I stayed home and watched home. But he did, the other offer was, do you want to play soccer in Newport Beach? And it's a 50-minute drive. And then on the way home, I just drove to PCH all the way to, I couldn't anymore, and I had to make a right inland, and I drove to Crenshaw and went to my favorite Jamaican restaurant, got some food there.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful drive, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like all coastline all the way, music, heading towards the long way to get some Jamaican food, and then did that. Also got a smoothie, and boom, I'm home. And by 1 p.m. That was my Sunday. I Sundayed so much. Crazy. It's Monday for me.
Yeah. You got started early on a good, productive week.
Yeah. And the time wasn't a challenge to wake up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday because I wake up earlier to watch the Premier League games.
Yeah. So your body clock's already tuned to that.
Yeah, my body was like, we getting 5 hours sleep on a Saturday? How come we getting this much sleep? That's a lot of sleep for a Saturday. So,
yeah.
Let's go for a drive then.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love that drive,
I'm wondering if we should wait till midweek and do a podcast and talk about the Champions League final.
So the Champions League final, it's so weird because now it used to be the end of May, right? Now it's because of the World Cup, it's pushed back. So June 10. All right. Yeah, I think we should do a preview midweek.
And let's do a preview midweek. I'll look into it more. And I suspect, be careful of Inter. Beware of Inter. Beware of Intercity. Yeah, because they can beat you because, we'll talk about it. Check out my Instagram at Ian Edwards Comic, specifically my link tree. I got all my show dates there. Thanks for watching and listening. You got anything you want to drop or say?
So you're going to be in San Diego July 25th, right?
Yeah.
For the game?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. You can feel free to, if you want to stay over the night before you drive back up.
All right. What part of San Diego is this stadium? I don't understand San Diego.
It's Mission Valley. So it's basically a little inland, but closer to downtown.
Oh, okay.
So it's south east from where we are in La Jolla.
Right. And is this the old Charger Stadium?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Qualcomm's. It used to be called the Qualcomm Stadium, but now it's called the Snapdragon Stadium because that's the product.
Snapdragon?
Yeah. So Qualcomm's the company, Snapdragon's the name of the chip that they make.
And is this where the San Diego MLS team is going to be playing?
Well, I think so, but I don't think they've confirmed that yet. There's been a lot of talk about that. So, I'm not really sure if they have made a decision on that.
I mean, they got a stadium just sitting there, and if they make some renovations, they could have a soccer field, and so we'll see.
Yeah.
I've been there for Charger games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they I think the women's team, do they play here? San Diego Wave. Let me see where they play. Because I've been meaning to go watch one of their games. Yeah, they played the Snapdragon Exchange. Yeah, so the women's team play there, and then there's a rugby team that plays there too.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been it's been fairly unused, but now I think this after last couple of years there's been teams playing there.
Yeah, it's funny how soccer saves a football stadium.
And I think the San Diego State, their football team plays there too.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it's being used. It's not just sitting there.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, I can't think of anything else we should talk about on this episode. So I think that's it.
Yeah, I think we can get like an audience interaction next week, like ask for some fan questions before the final, maybe related to the final. Yeah.
All right, we'll do that.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Thanks for watching and listening. Thank you, Neil, for joining.
Yeah.
Thanks for your input and everything. And everybody else, try to catch up to my Sunday. Good luck.
All right.